So today I wanted to do a video giving some of my insights about abuse, be it one-on-one abuse or be it group abuse. And by that I mean one group abusing another group via racism or sexism or economic exploitation, whatever form that would take. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I've been attending a support group for that because I felt like it was important. I realized that being in an abusive dynamic was part of my history, and in order to break free of that, I wanted to basically sort of try to enlighten myself about why maybe I ended up in abusive situations, so as not to repeat the same pattern in the future. Anyway, in this group, one of the exercises that the leader of the group did was to place a little tiger stuffed animal in a chair and throw blankets. You know, this blanket is say the abuser's economic control over you, and this blanket is the abuser putting you down all the time, and this blanket is the abuser, you know, not allowing you to have any kind of friends or, you know, contacts outside the home. And then, you know, after that exercise, you know, she basically challenged us to, okay, what can we do to remove those obstacles from Tigger so that Tigger can be free and happy again. And, you know, one thing would obviously be to get away from the abuser, and another thing would maybe to be, you know, to work on our self-esteem, or, you know, whatever we needed to do to deconstruct what that person had done to us. And I really had an insight when I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone tonight about that, and I realized that the exercise that the woman did for us in group was really an analogy for what the world is undergoing right now, has undergone in the past. Basically, it's a cycle of exploitation and psychological abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse that has gone on, you know, historically and continues to go on, and people try to, you know, put different labels on it and sort of sanitize its origins, but the fact remains that that's what it is. It's just it's abuse. It's just abuse. And so I want to encourage anyone out there who is watching this video to think about what you can do to throw the blankets off Tigger, to, you know, deconstruct all of the historical abuse that's gone on. What can you do to deconstruct racism and sexism and economic exploitation and every other injustice that exists in the world? What can you do to make that better? I think if everybody asked themselves that question, then things would be better and get better. And abusers will tell you, my abuser told me, that it's stupid to spend your time focusing on these issues, that there's no point in it. Things are the way they are. They're never going to get any better. You're just wasting your time by, focusing on trying to make things better. But I don't believe that. Just as there have been many battered women who have overcome the abuse that they've suffered and gone on to live happy, productive lives, I think that the world can overcome the abuses that go on and become a place that we can be proud of, where people are not routinely exploited and mistreated because it's economically convenient, or because we've been brainwashed into believing that because of our sex or because of our race, it's okay to mistreat these other people who, by their birth, are different from us. I really see racism and sexism and classism as sort of diversionary tactics, things that it's easy to focus on, and really the real issue is dichotomous thinking, and that is black and white, me good, them bad type thinking. I think that is the real problem in the world. And I read a book called The Shadow Effect, which really brought that message home to me personally. It really pointed out that the destructive nature of believing that oneself is perfectly good, and if you could just destroy and get rid of the other, whatever that happens to be, that you'll be fine. But the truth is that we're all one. We all have elements of good and bad within us, and it is our choice what we choose to manifest out there in the world. And if we allow ourselves to ignore the bad parts of ourselves and to not try and correct that, then it only is going to get worse. Just like abusers, whenever you ignore the signs of abuse, it tends to just get worse and worse and worse. And I think that that is really what has happened in our own world, and why things have gone from bad to worse in a lot of ways, in terms of war and poverty and all of that stuff. I think it's our willingness to ignore the bad and to label other people as the problem, instead of looking at ourselves and asking ourselves, what have I done to contribute to this problem, or what can I do to contribute to a solution. So that is basically what I wanted to say in this video, and I really hope that someone out there is paying attention and we'll go on to make the world a better place. Thank you.